essentially Hawk Tuah pulled the rug pull on her community a month ago. She's been doing her podcast, and she just disappeared. She just disappeared. Podcast stop going out. TikTok stopped going out. She hasn't tweeted anything on Twitter. She just disappeared off the internet. But apparently, she's back. And here's CoffeeZilla to tell us more.
Hawk Tuah Girl's back with a released podcast that was immediately disavowed by nearly everyone in it, who said, oh, we think there might have been insider trading involved.
The podcast was not supposed to go live. They it up every step of the way. They leaked the podcast, and then they posted it when it was supposed to be canceled. They it up twice, and the third was the launch itself.
Accusations flying. The episode got deleted,
here,
but it's still out there in the ether now with everyone nitpicking it apart. It's kind of a complete disaster for the Hawk Tuah team, and I found even more kind of wrong.
I can't, bro. When we talk about some of the biggest industry plants in internet history, Hawk Tuah really got to be up there, bro. No, that meme was not supposed to last longer than 3 days, chat. Full stop. That meme was supposed to be something that was funny for 4 days, and we just moved on to the next trend. You know what I'm saying? Awesome chill guy shit. And shout out to the chill guy meme, but the chill guy meme really only lasted for 5 days. But then she spinned it off to a podcast. Now she's doing crypto. Now we gotta refer to her team as the Hawk Tuah team. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? For real, for real. What are we doing?
Wrong with it. I want to go through it because, yes, we do get...
Let's not forget about Bobby Altoff, which we will talk about, because there's another video I want to react to about her. She is probably the second biggest industry plant. I ain't gonna lie.
Mentioned in it, sort of as the boogeyman of crypto. We're gonna get you if you rug a coin. You know, we might come after you.
CoffeeZilla got on there. Scary guy, let me tell you. Don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
Whoa. Don't ever want to have a conversation with me. Guys, I'm not intimidating. I don't know what's the problem here. I'm Joe Rogan inches tall, guys. It's not...
CoffeeZilla, you gotta stop, bro. You gotta stop. CoffeeZilla, you have so much credibility within the exposed niche that when you get a call from CoffeeZilla, you really gotta look yourself in the mirror and ask, damn, why am I getting a call from CoffeeZilla? Let's stop it. Let's stop
striking
it.
Figure here you're going to be scared of. If you meet me in person, you're not going to be like, you know, relax. It's fine. Just get on the call. Let's have a conversation. I don't understand. And I also thought this was weird because Haley Welch's lawyer invited me on the show. In fact, like really, really wanted me on their show and kept telling me how much Haley Welch liked me. Hence the t-shirt, you know. I used to like CoffeeZilla until he wouldn't come on my podcast. Then he is, you know, Voldemort, and we can't mention him. He's scary. Watch out. Don't talk about CoffeeZilla. He's intimidating. Here's the message I got from her lawyer. Haley would like to have you on as a guest on her podcast. You'd be the first guest since the failed crypto token launch, and would get significant amount of views. Would be very friendly. This guy must not know me. She really likes you. Wow. I thought she didn't want to have a conversation with me. What gives? What happened in only a few weeks? You know, I turned into, you know, the most scary man in the world. Now, I denied it. I said, look, I'm not a fan of what she did with Hawk. I have so many questions. You know, I need details. And then this guy says, I understand your position. I think the more details come to light, you'll understand she was a victim.
I'm going to be honest, chat. Crypto is such it's one of those things where, like, theoretically, there's nothing wrong with it. Theoretically. But kind of similar to people doing courses, you know, kind of similar to Forex. Like, I don't know if y'all know this. Forex is just short for foreign exchange. Theoretically, there's nothing wrong with Forex, right? But there's such a bad stigma to me with crypto that I just don't trust anything related to crypto. I don't give a fuck if I see, like, maybe that's a bad outlook on it, cause from what it looks like Bitcoin does seem legit. But anything outside of Bitcoin is just kind of sus to me. You know what I'm saying? Like what these meme coins, I just don't get it. The meme coins, everyone making meme coins, everyone even believing certain projects outside of knowing it's a meme coin. Like I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like knowing a ship is about to fall and hopping on it. Like that's what it looks like investing into crypto. Like there's just God, I don't know.
Yes. She does care about her fans and others that have lost money tremendously and is cooperating with all authorities as well as Berwick Law
Does
Group.
Hot
This has
Tuah
all
have
been very
fans?
traumatic for her. And basically come on the show, please. You are the podcast's top priority for the first episode in 2025, guys. Me, the boogeyman, I was honored, to be honest. I was like, wow, I could be on the Talk Tuah show. But, of course, I don't want to rehab someone's image who scammed people. And I really felt that questions had not been answered that should have been answered, such as, what was the agreement with Haley Welch and with Doc Hollywood? Very simple question, right? Basically, Haley Welch's position is, oh, I was a victim. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how much, I was barely going to make money, 125K plus like, you know, half of 10% of the tokens locked for a year, like this terrible deal I got taken advantage of by these monsters. Like that was kind of their position. And all I wanted to know was, you know, give me the contract. Show me that that is true. And unfortunately, they were not able to give it. He's not in a position to share it, he says. I'm sorry. I said, can't verify anything you say then. Even what you told me about the 50% split, which I had heard Hawk Tuah Girl was going to make 50% of all the profits.
Is that a
And he
lot?
kind of told me, no, that's just applies to the tokens. So I was like, oh, well, maybe she's less of a stakeholder in this than I thought. I don't know. I even pinned a comment on it, which we'll talk about. I said, no idea if that's real. He says, come tape the podcast and I'll let you read it. I thought this was really skeevy. I thought that's weird. And not even like let me post it, but just read it. That's super weird. And in general, I find that in these situations, going on people's podcasts where I've reported on them, they are highly likely to do sketchy editing, to try to...
I will say the only angle for Haley Welch being a victim in all of this, and it's not even a bad one. I think once her rise to fame happened, a lot of people saw an opportunity to take advantage of this woman. You know what I'm saying? This is a person that needed representation. She needed a pivot, you know, and people thought that they were the solution. You know, people thought that they could take advantage of the situation. And Haley Welch, because from my understanding, her background is like she's not a social media person. She knows she lucked herself into a lot of this, and she doesn't know what she's doing. I feel like there's like I would not be surprised. This is what I'll say. I would not be surprised if she truly was taken advantage of. Her team just told her to post this, post that, do this, do that. Didn't really know what she was doing. She just had a team that she trusted. She saw the checks coming in, and she said, I bet. This is what I got to do. Or she could be lying. I don't know.
kind of control the situation so they look as good as possible, obviously. But I'm just not in a, I don't think that ever makes sense. Like for me reporting on a scam to then like go on their podcast. It doesn't work. So I say no. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, they bring FaZe Banks on because FaZe Banks is like the closest thing to doing what I did as well on the live stream. He also confronted Doc Hollywood. And so he was sort of one of the people that broke the news. So I thought, okay, that's a pretty natural guy to bring on your podcast. Now, FaZe Banks reached out to me and said, hey, I'm probably gonna do this podcast. Do you have any questions that you'd like to get answers to? I said, yes, I do. I'd really like to see that contract. Now, spoiler alert, FaZe Banks didn't get to see it either. They didn't get to show it. But he also told me, look, we're gonna tell everyone, do not talk about the show. It doesn't work if you talk about it because people are gonna front run the coin. That's sort of how you guys got into this mess. This would be a disaster if you do that. So our only stipulation, these guys are very positive about crypto, much more like, they kind of wanted to like rehab her image basically in the crypto space. So it's like a dream get for Haley Welch. Like, this is amazing for her. And because FaZe Banks is basically going to, like, make it be like, oh, well, you didn't really mean to do that, right? But, you know, he's going to ask some questions, whatever. Well, turns out that didn't go so well. Because when this podcast went live, I thought maybe things went well. Turns out it didn't, because Banks released this. He said, I agreed to do her first podcast back. I had heavy stipulations of not letting the market get manipulated. I think that's basic. Her team finding a real solution regarding the money she made. Those were non-starters. These people leaked or insider traded the token. We noticed a random spike in volume on the coin the day we did the podcast, along with random messages asking if we did the podcast. So are you guys getting this? Somebody front ran the podcast to buy up all the coins because they knew, ooh, everyone's going to like it when they release this podcast. Let's front run the coin, which is just horrible. It's like, what, do you want to re-victimize people? So they call off the pod. They're like, look, even the people most charitable towards Hawk Tuah say, we're out. We're done. But today, the episode got leaked. Apparently, there's an agreement. The podcast is never going out, but today it got leaked. I say that because some of the accompanying clips that got clipped seem to be good for Haley Welch. Like where she cries, you know, about the rug pull, and people were saying maybe they kind of felt bad for her, right, from this leaked show. Here's Dexerto saying Haley Welch broke down in tears while talking about the alleged rug pull of her.
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me.
Who is that though, chat? I'm being so serious. Who is a legit, no troll, no brain rot, Hawk Tuah girl fan? Who is that, bro? What is the demographic? What is the age range? You know, where do you live? Who is that? Who is that, bro? Fans? Eli, that's what I'm saying. What is her demographic? I don't know anyone that like unironically watches her. I know there was a meme when she first launched that. Oh, we gonna watch Hawk Tuah. All right, you go, chat. Me. What does that mean, bro? And if you are, I truly, like, I'm being so serious. I wanna know why. What do you see in her? Is she a real Potter for real? Is she a real Potter? Is she like a me where she got like moments on the pod where she's mad funny? Cause I think I can out moment her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
No, you're not. FaZe Banks canceled the episode. Are you guys getting that? He was like, I can't be a part of this. And they posted the clip. I can't believe it. That's unbelievable. Do y'all understand how insane that is?
How this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like what they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, oh, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto's going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I...
So whoever is running the crypto thought Hawk Tuah was the gateway to changing how people thought about crypto. Are we serious right now? Are we serious right now? No, because we got to run that back. Come on, bro.
The guy that ran the account, he was like, oh, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto's going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I planned.
That's right, guys. Haley Welch is very sorry. She wants you to know she did not intend to go that way.
We got to stop.
And that podcast clip, yes, it wasn't supposed to go, but it just leaked. We don't know how. I approached, of course, the guys behind it, and they said it was an editor mistake. Oh, oops. Yes, the guys who interviewed us thought we may have insider traded the coin. But this guy says he vouches for the internal team, saying it was none of them. And Better, which is Jake Paul's team, I guess, no way they would ever do something like that, guys. Believe us. We will likely never know the info leak. The clip posting leak today was an accidental by Better's editor who had the episode in the YouTube. Her
production staff is funded by Jake Paul's betting company. Okay, the dots are connecting now, chat. The dots are connecting now, bro. Wow. Okay.
Waiting on approvals to release. Now, I don't know if this is true or false. I thought the weird thing about this video is that, like, everyone has had, anyone in media who's, like, had a sensitive episode recorded, you don't, like, do all the work if you think it might get canned. Like, obviously, right? These people not only edited the show, they put an ad in the leaked version of the episode, okay? So I'm not saying it didn't leak. I'm saying it's highly convenient.
That started. Game Time believes in me, y'all, and I believe in them.
Game Time's more loyal than most of y'all's mans out here.
Yeah, some of those guys just leave it the first opportunity they get. Not Game Time.
Not Game Time, guys. Game Time wouldn't leak an episode on you. So that's just the start of this atrocious episode. But now that it's out, I did take a look at it, and it made me
Yo.
think twice about something that I've been trying to get to the bottom of for a while, which is that contract. The contract I keep asking about. Who was supposed to make the money, right? That's always the question in a case like this. That's what the boogeyman wants to know. I got to know who to scare. I got to know whose bed to get under to scare them at night. And I've been repeatedly asking this, and as
Lesky.
I've said, basically their position.
Big facts. Shout out to the Let's Keep It a Buck production team, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She was the person who got tricked into promoting this thing, right? This scam. But there was a certain thing she said that confused me, because I've heard two things. I've heard Haley Welch is getting half of everything, which is she's not the mark. She's like one of the main players. Or two, she's basically getting $125K and nothing else. Well, I heard this during the show, and it made me think, interesting.
Like half the money, it was supposed to go like into my charity. That's really why I agreed to do it.
Did you hear that?
Like half the money.
Half the money. Now, that's very interesting. That's very different from what we've been told, which is like, oh, it's just $125K. I don't know if the part about the charity is true, that it was all supposed to go to charity. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Again, that's why I keep asking about the contract. Now, I went to their lawyer, and I was like, look, I don't understand the secrecy with the contract. You could settle this so easily. This guy says, I'm on a phone call. Then he says something he's been saying the whole time. As I've said, the 50% of net proceeds, that's apparently what she's talking about, half the money, was from the mutually agreed upon allocation of tokens. 10% locked for 1 year with a 3-year vest thereafter. Memetic, which is Doc Hollywood, was to get the other 50% of the 10%. So not 50%, only like 5%, 1 year locked up. That's a terrible deal if you guys don't know that. And then he says her intention was to give her side to charity. We never got far.
Here's my thing. Is it really that hard to put the fries in the bag? Like, that ass. No, not like... This is where my head goes to, chat. People want to be entrepreneurs so bad. So bad. Is it really that hard to put the fries in the bag? And maybe not, literally working for McDonald's, but this is what I'm talking about when it comes to making 9-to-5s great again. And mind you, I do have a 9-to-5, so fuck off. This whole entrepreneurship wave of just doing anything and everything in your fucking power so that you don't have to get a 9-to-5, I swear it's not that bad, bro. I swear, if anything, it's actually much nicer in certain areas. Now, I'm not saying that all 9-to-5s are the same. You know what I'm saying? Lit Famous just said in chat, yes, Amazon is, I don't know if I could say that. That may be TOS. But, if you're just trying to avoid a cubicle job or like a corporate job for the sake of being an entrepreneur, I'm telling you it's not that bad, bro. If anything, I ain't gonna lie, ever since I've gotten this 9-to-5, my work-life balance, my anxiety has gone down. I'm being so serious when I say that, bro. There's just I'm not so reliant on the next day's performance. Got a steady check coming in. You know what I'm saying? Taxes are much simpler. Like, there's just a lot of things. I have a clear-cut hours when I'm on work and when I'm off work, and even that, like, I don't even think that's as clear-cut as it can be because of the nature of my job right now. But, like, I don't know, bro.
Far enough down the road to make those questions. With regard to not sharing the contract, we can't, blah, 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 blah. We're in a legal situation. Now, this is where I finally had to play some of the cards that I had kept close to the chest up till now. See, I've been talking behind the scenes. I've been doing my little digging, right? And I got a very interesting insider document that a lot of people don't know about. This is from Doc Hollywood himself, which, if you remember, is like the key guy. Here he is saying, we'll do best to make it as simple as possible. The pre-sale raise is 50-50 Project Haley. Fees for market making and LP is split between us and Haley 50-50. Now, that's a very, very different story than I've been told up until this point. It wasn't 50-50 pre-sale. Like, that's millions of dollars pre-sale. The fees were millions of dollars, okay? Or like $1 million. And that's what I say. Story's very different. This guy says, I think you can safely distrust anything coming from Doc Hollywood's mouth. He's denying it. He's saying, that's not true. And then he says, look, I just can't have the contract published online, willing to let you see it with your own eyes, and saying that's why he was going to let me see it on the podcast. I said, well, these messages were prior to the failure of Hawk Tuah. So I don't understand why would Doc lie? Like, this isn't him saying it to cover himself later. It's him, like, talking in a chat with other insiders back then. So, once again, Christian denies it. He goes, he's not right. I said, I don't understand your position. You want me to not trust internal messages from before the launch and trust you who refuses to produce evidence. This guy says, look, I can tell you what I think, but I don't have any way of proving this. I then say, you said on the podcast you negotiated the contract personally.
I negotiated the contract with the company.
I don't get why Haley would benefit from such a bad contract if what you said is true. And this is really how I feel. Half of 10% of tokens plus 125K makes 0 sense for someone who's bringing in all of the name recognition. Like, you're bringing the whole thing, and you're getting this, like, measly piece of the pie? It doesn't check out. Like, 125K is a lot of money, but they made, like, $4 million. So, Then he says this. The contract says she was paid $125K on signing, $200K within 30 days of launch. Interesting. We didn't know that. And 50% of the net proceeds of the project with mutually agreed upon tokenomics, the tokenomics we agreed to, were for half of the 10% of the tokens.
Tokenomics.
Now, I want you guys to realize that what he just said is backtracking on what he's been saying the entire time. Which he's been saying the entire time, oh, it's just 50% of the 10%. 50% of the tiny amount of tokenomics we're going to need. No. What he's saying here, finally, he's giving us the real story. It's 50% of the net proceeds of the project, period. That is completely different from what they've told me. And so I say 50% of net proceeds does not mean half of 10%. It means 50% of net proceeds, which is market making, pre-sale. This is like $4 million that they talked
caps
about.
It.
And I don't know if he's just trying to play dumb here, but he goes, we were told by Memetic that fees and pre-sale funds were going to be used to run the project. Guys, it was $4 million. You think it takes $4 million to run a meme coin? Or like 3.9 million? Sorry, it's like 3.9, I think. How are you getting the 50% only applies to 10% of the tokens? I'm baffled. You think they need $3 million to run a meme coin? 3 plus, 3.9 roughly. The debt.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. All I hear is crypto mumbo jumbo. This was a grade A scam. And this is why I don't fuck with crypto, bro. This is why I don't fuck with crypto. You can just you can get Rob Palenka into like scamming your audience just because they are just saying terms. Tokenomics? Come on, bro.
Team, by their own admission, said they had 4 guys. 4 guys do not need to split $4 million 4 ways, right? And so then they just kind of start doing this weird thing.
Dre said, tokenomics, go work at Olive Garden, Brody.
And it got me like realizing like, yeah, they're just trying to get out of it. Like, if you think for a second, they would have said, oh, we only want the 10% if this project succeeded, you're mistaken. They would have asked for the millions of dollars. Now they're saying it because that money's getting them in trouble, right? There's a lawsuit about that money. So they're saying, oh, we weren't entitled to that. No, that's not us. Christian Baker said, we didn't even know the amount of money raised from the pre-sale until launch. I say, yes, but you're entitled to that per the literal contract. Also, we were told Meteora was on a de-escalation schedule from 50% down to 1%, and that would happen one after launch. Obviously, that didn't happen. And he said, my understanding is that a large tranche of the pre-sale money was put in the LP. We didn't have the access to the dev. We don't know what wallets. We were also told pre-sale tokens would be on a 1-month lock, 1-year vest. That didn't happen either. And once again, this is where I have to play some of my cards. Because like I said, I've been investigating this. I'm being told, oh, we weren't going to make any money. And I'm just trying to say, like, you guys aren't the victims. I hope you guys are understanding that this is kind of my feeling in all this. They're trying to be like, oh, we barely made a dime. And that's just not true. Like, that's not what they stood to make. I said, what do you mean? You told me I could disregard what Doc said. Remember, he said, oh, you can disregard it. But y'all literally had a contract for 50% of net proceeds. Doc himself said the project was going to cost a few $100,000. If that's the case, pre-sale $2.8 million, fees $1 million, made almost $4 million. Y'all are contractually owed like $1.6 million. And then I shared another insider text I have from Doc Hollywood, where he says, what we can do is put a hard number to the side for the project as cost. Like we spent a few $100,000 on the project already. That money will be paid back to us off top. Then the profit is paid out. If a few $100,000 is what it costs and the profit's paid out, who's the profit entitled to? Hawk Tuah Girl. That's who it is. And we're all being gaslit about like, oh, I'm the victim. I stood to make no money. Wrong. You wanted to make no money after you realized the money is like being scrutinized and being sued over and possibly being looked into by law enforcement. Like, we don't know. So this literally drives me crazy. And then he goes, where is this from if you don't mind me asking? I say, well, it's an insider chat, allegedly between Doc and the team members. And then he says, you're right that as it stands, she may be entitled to whatever amounts. However, she was supposed to have mutual approval on tokenomics. Her not being given the opportunity to approve the transaction fees, halves, and pre-sale identities led to the end result. So literally he's admitting that he's been not telling the truth about how much money they stood to make. You're right, she may be entitled to millions of dollars from a scam? Like, what? I can't believe they said this. It's insane. So that was a huge revelation. We finally got that out of them. They've been saying this whole time. They even said it during the pod. This guy kind of did this whole thing of like the back end. Oh, the back end, it's only like 50% of 10% locked up for a year. And when the managers take their cut, it's like this tiny amount of money.
Back end, there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock and then a 3-year drip after that.
Is this the team? Is this the Talk to a team? Outside of FaZe Banks, like these the guys? Maybe I'm wrong. Is these the guys, chat?
Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company that created the project, and half was to go to her. So out of 100% of the token, she would have had 5% at the end. Obviously, she has lawyer, manager.
I gonna lie, chat. And someone said it in chat, bro. I do not feel bad for anyone who got scammed by the Talk to a coin. Sorry. Certain things in life, bro. And I get it. She's shitty for trying to pull it off. I do not have sympathy for you if you invested tens of thousands, your life savings, on the Talk to a coin and you got your ass like cooked for it. That's like you as a grown adult putting your hand on a hot stove and saying, oh, who turned the stove on? You saw it was on. You know what I'm saying? You saw it was on. That shit, the little light on the fucking stove said, the stove's on. Matter of fact, you got an electric stove. That shit is like mad red. You know what I'm saying? The lights are on. And you still touch it? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Not gonna lie, I feel a little sorry for her. I feel like she was actually trying to do something right, but then this got beyond her in some way. Yeah, I still stand by what I said earlier. I truly do feel like she did get taken advantage of just by everyone in this situation. This is a person who does not know how to navigate the social media space in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. To her, this crypto shit is probably just another brand deal. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Her management is Jake Paul. Her management is on the Paul brother side of things. Logan Paul is a very pro-crypto person. So she's a gullible person right now. She is a very impressionable person right now. And she got people in here telling her to do this, tell her to do that. And like we just said, a lot of crypto mumbo jumbo can be said to make you like feel good about these deals. And especially if you don't know what you're getting into, which again, I don't think she did. You are going to get cooked. You are going to be taken advantage of. I think that's what it is, bro. I think that's ultimately what happened. My problem is, why does she have management? It's because people saw an opportunity in her for other people to make money. You know what I'm saying? People saw a meme that was going viral on the internet and said, okay, she's looking for management. She's looking to, maybe she wasn't even looking to further her social media career. But as a management team, we can pitch her to say, you have your moment right now, but, you can quit your job and become a social media influencer forever. I know you're, naive to the space, but we've been in the space for X, Y, or Z years. We can help you out, And that's why I feel like she got taken advantage of. I ain't gonna lie.
Your business manager, so even that 5% would have been cut down by over a quarter.
I just found this unbelievable. They're playing the victim. And that's kind of my problem with this whole thing. Look, I can believe a lot of plausible stories here. Now, I really don't believe anything they tell me at this point, but I could be convinced that this might be the case. Maybe it's the case that Hawk to his team was under the impression that all these pre-sale investors were locked up for a month, right? That's what they told me. Again, I don't believe them necessarily, but it's plausible. Right? I asked him, when did you learn that the insiders had 0 lockups? He says, when they started dumping. I was told all along the SAFs had a 1-month lock, 1-year linear vest thereafter. I can tell you what I think happened, but I don't have any way of proving it without seeing the SAFs. I have the SAFs.
Oh, ATM, don't get it twisted. And I can't name names. She is not the only one taking advantage of production teams. Let me tell y'all this right now. Your favorite content creator, just because they're succeeding as a content creator, does not mean they know the business of content creation. Sorry to break the fourth wall. I really want to name names, but I can't. Just because a content creator you're seeing is succeeding does not mean that they know what they're doing. That just means it could just be a production team that they have that knows what they're doing, that is guiding them in the right direction. But the talent you're seeing, they don't necessarily know exactly what they're doing. How the production team may not even know what they're doing. But just because they're seeing success, now they get that confirmation bias. Now they get that validation that they feel like they know what they're doing. When in actuality, they may not even know what they're doing. And there's a lot of talent out there, chat, that needs representation, that needs guidance, that has a lot of potential. You know what I'm saying? Especially with mainstream celebrities trying to get into content creation. Like, a lot of these mainstream celebrities are already entertaining, already have fan bases, but are looking for representation to manage their production behind the scenes. People are seeing that as an opportunity. People are seeing that as a, yo, this person got bread. They're looking for a social media production team. Let me step in. Again, cannot name names, but I'm telling you right now, that's the case. That is a fact. That is a fact. Oh, shit. I got it. Yo, this camera angle, bro. I swear.
So I can tell you what happened. The pitch deck did say it was a 1 month lockup. Okay? And then you get the SAFs, the actual token agreements with like the real investors. No lockup. That's how it all kind of went down, fellas. They lied and they deceived people with fake investment lockups. Like they gave a pitch deck that was not really what the pitch deck ultimately turned out to be. Whether that was a last minute change, whether there's some great way to explain it, I don't think there is. But look, you can believe that, right? But Haley Welch's team this whole time has been acting like so unbelievably dishonest in how they're framing all this to try to make her look like as sympathetic as possible instead of admitting, like, actually, we did have some complicity in this. Maybe we should have asked more questions. We did stand to make way more money than we've let on in a lot of these interviews and with journalists.
Nah, Trey, I
And we haven't been
can't
exactly
say what I
forthcoming
really
about
want
that.
to
So it
say.
makes it hard to be charitable, which kind of they're
But
wanting
the
you to be
darkest
if we cancel
secrets,
these contracts.
the darkest
if
secrets
we don't
always
know
come
what
to
they
light.
knew, right, at the time when
That's
all this
what
stuff
Drake
happened.
said,
And
so.
it clearly was a scam because the pitch deck said one thing, they said it was a lockup. The SAFs said it wasn't a lockup. But it's hard to be charitable, right, when this is kind of the way they're interfacing. Even with the FaZe Banks crew, who wanted to be charitable to her pretty explicitly. Like, they were like, look, even when they talked about me, they're like, hey, it's not going to be that bad. We're not going to be like CoffeeZilla.
That scary guy. Let me tell you, don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
We're a little bit more charitable than Coffee. I think Coffee kind of has a little bit of disdain for crypto in general. Us, on the other hand, we live and breathe it every day. We want to see crypto succeed.
Even those guys who admit that they have like a bias towards being charitable, right? Maybe I have a bias for being scary. But even they don't want anything to do with her team because her team is leaking stuff, messing up, like all this stuff with supposed insider trading. Again, their team denies it. I got to be clear about that. But clearly somebody was trading on the information, which they shouldn't have, and then leaking the episode as an accident. So, yeah, I just wanted to cover the story, just explain how bad faith they've sort of been throughout this, some of the revelations we've learned since then, and also admit there's plenty we don't know that I hope will be revealed in this lawsuit, which is happening about this coin, fighting for this money, that clearly Haley Welch's team is like, oh, we don't want that anymore. We just want to, we want to say we're not entitled to any of that. And so I do hope in that lawsuit things actually come out and victims get their money back. But yeah, I just wanted to cover this story now that the hawk truth is floating around on the interwebs. I wanted people to get a more clear, holistic picture of what actually happened, both on the screen and behind the scenes. Okay, see ya.
God, can this shit just end, bro? God, please. Please. We should have left her in 2024, bro. My God. But also, CoffeeZilla, you gotta stop acting like people aren't afraid of you. for real. Like, you are, especially in the crypto world, the boogeyman. Like, again, there's a few content creators out there that can say this. If you are featured, if a video is about you coming from a certain content creator, you really know, like, you did something wrong.